Yo, what up, dudes? Hello, good morning, good morning. Good morning. It's been a while. Folks, today I have 3 things that I wanted to talk about on stream. One of them is definitely this new, that's not really that new. This is like an interview that was made by Fumito Ueda to This Week in Video Games. It is a paid interview, so I don't think I can show it on stream. I think what I'm going to do is just put this on my other screen, and probably just talk about some of the points that I just find interesting in the interview, and then say it to you guys. So yeah, I don't think I can show it, or I shouldn't at the very least, so that's kind of annoying. I want to discuss a little bit about Final Fantasy VII Revelation. There's been a lot of so much information about it, and I honestly have not said anything about it. And I kind of want to do videos about it also, so I'll probably just use a lot of the recordings that I do here to make some videos about it, because I'm actually super excited. I'm restarting to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, actually. So yeah, I just kind of want to talk about it a little bit. Just put my thoughts out there and check some of the interviews and some of the gameplay stuff regarding Revelations and what we might see in the future for that game, especially the ending. The ending's really interesting. And Berserk, if we have time. The latest chapter has been very controversial, to say the least, and even myself, I'm a little bit confused about it. Even though I think the thing is, I don't really take too seriously this new continuation of Berserk. I mean, I do, but I don't. It's kind of like, we'll never really see the ending of this manga, you know? So it's kind of like, whatever we get, I'm okay with, you know what I mean, sort of deal. That's at least my overall view. I do think that, yo, what up, Abelos? Bam! What's up, dude? How you doing, brother? I do think that the new direction for Berserk is fine. There are some issues. I don't deny it. But yeah. Overall, it's kind of like whatever, man. It's just, I'll just take what I can get. It feels that way right now. Okay. Let me see. Okay, cool. Let's start with this interview then from Jaco. What up, Jaco? How you doing, brother? Welcome to the stream, bro. Okay, I don't think I can show all of this because this is a paid interview. So I'm probably just gonna read out loud this, and then I'll just put this on my other screen, and we will go from there. Okay, I think it's for the better. Okay, so Fumito Ueda made an interview for This Week in Video Games. Okay, and I haven't read it yet, so we'll see if it has anything new when it comes to information. So we'll see. For Fumito Ueda, the creation of Gen Atlas is like writing a haiku. What is a haiku? What is this? Excuse my... I am an uncultural... Oh, I know these. Yeah, I know these. So these are like traditional Japanese poetic form consisting of 3 unrhymed lines with 5-7-5 syllable structures. Okay, so I know a little bit about these because there is a store in my city that has a section that sells a shit ton of these poems from Japan. I honestly read a couple of them. I always feel like, at least when it comes to English, this just doesn't work. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm wrong, but it's poems like this. So, frosted dawn whispers, crisp leaves shatter underfoot. What? Autumn's breath lingers. Okay. The sun powers herself into the sea, and the world overflows with light. It's like super simple poems. It's literally like you know how in Japan you have this whole how do you call it? You have this whole painting style that is very minimalistic, right? I've actually done a lot of these works for myself because I wanted to understand what are these drawings all over about. What is this called again? I forgot the name. Typical Japanese brush paintings name. Dude, my memory is... Jesus. Sumi E art. This is the one. Yeah, Sumi E art. So this is a very Asian you know, Japanese, Chinese tradition when it comes to paintings, you know? And it's like characterized by super simple and minimalistic strokes in order to represent something, you know what I mean? It's almost like I don't know how to explain it. When you are actually painting it, it makes total sense, you know? It's kind of like it's super simple touches that show what you're trying to represent, like in a super simplistic way. You know what I mean? Haiku feels that way. Haiku, just at least from the very small stuff that I know from this, feel like it's going into that sort of same direction. You know what I mean? Like super simple poems that try to bring a sort of feeling to the table, you know, like a sentiment. I would love to understand Japanese, to be honest. These are the moments that I would... Yo, what up, Dan Spence? How you doing, brother? These are the moments that I would love to understand Japanese, to fully understand this art form, because maybe I'm wrong, man. I don't know if any of you knows about this, but I just feel like at least in English and in Portuguese, which is my language, something is off. You know, something is missing. It just doesn't work as well. But yeah, okay, that's haiku, all right? By the way, it is incredibly hot right now in Portugal. It is nightmarish, man. And it's going to be worse in the next couple of days, bro. I can't wait, man. I can't wait for those 40s and 50 degrees, man. Doing good, brother. Doing good, Dense Friends. Thank you for asking, man. How are you doing, brother? How are you doing? You know what I want, man? I want doner kebab, man. I really want some doner kebab. Do I need to go to Germany for that shit, man? We got none of that in here, man. Come on! All right. Fumito doesn't mind getting his hands dirty in a lot of little things, even after almost 30 years in the industry. Damn, my man is looking good. Look at that shit, man. Gee! Okay. Ueda joined Sony Computer Entertainment back in 1997. Great year for gaming. Great fucking year for gaming, dude. Where he directed the landmark title Ico and Shadow of the Colossus, Last Guardian. Okay. Typical introduction stuff. Studio went on tease on a new project with full funding from Epic Games Publishing. That is true. Codenamed Project Robot in 2024. Officially revealed in 2026 Summer's Games Fest as Gen Atlas. Post-apocalyptic sci-fi title on an abandoned planet littered with the remains of colossal robots. Cool. Okay. Speaking via translator at Summer's Game Fest, Ueda said that nothing has really changed about his approach to new projects. What is important to me has always been the same. I'm going to create something new and fresh that hasn't been done before, that I don't see out there in the market. So this has pretty much been something that he already said before in interviews, so this is not new news, okay? Okay, folks, I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy this, bring it to a new panel over here. I am very sorry, all right? But it is what it is. I don't want to get a copy strike or anything like that. So I'm just going to read on the side here for myself and see if there's anything interesting overall. Let's see. I take a point of view. Can I say it out loud? I think I can. I think that's fine. Take a point of view of, well, if I were a player and if I were a fan of Fumito Games, what would I want to see in his next creation? This is him saying this. So I do try to keep in mind, and I knew I wanted to come up with something very unexpected this time around. Yeah, definitely, because this is a big change. Ueda went on note that when he approaches writing a new story, he starts with a great opening and a great ending. That is pretty much a thing typical in video games and storytelling overall. You want a very good opening, you want a very good ending, and then the middle can be, you know, a little bit worse. But as long as you have a very, very good beginning and a very good ending, that's what sticks in the minds of people, normally speaking. My condolences, Donor is so good. Dude, I only tried it once, and I want more! So yeah, unfortunate. And it wasn't even here, so yeah, in my country. When it went on the note, when he approached writing a new story, he started... Okay, so I read this. Once those have been fleshed out and committed to, the development team moves on to the next phase. That Ueda likened to writing an haiku. Okay. This is an haiku is this poem right here. Okay, these types of very minimalistic poems, like we've mentioned before. I sort of block these keywords that can be interpreted in many different ways, and then we start to refine the details of how does that flow as a story? This is so interesting though. Like, so he forms like a little haiku or multiple haikus in terms of like story beats for the game, I guess, especially the beginning and the end. And then he just goes with the flow. And I do remember like there's one really interesting thing regarding all of this, which I suspected that it was the case, but Mystic Aiko on our little theory crafting channel kind of confirmed that, which was really cool, because he mentioned here that, where is it? Yeah, Mystic Aiko mentions here a really, really cool little thing, which is here. It's still in the game technically, but reduced textures. Ueda approved of the artistic decision, right? So, wait, let me read this. Images of the idol statues. Yeah, these are images of the idol statues as they were modeled in Lightwave 3D. So he's talking about these images right here that are present in Aiko. These are the statues that we move away with the Horda, you know what I mean? The artist in charge of adapting the idols from concept art to 3D, not Ueda, decided to make horned figures within them, who were given no elaborate detail in the concept art. Resemble Yorda as she appeared in the original pilot video for PlayStation 1. Tattoos included. Ueda approved of the artist's decision. You know, well, what I find interesting about this is that it feels like Ueda gives a lot of freedom to people to do what they want in terms of vision. You know what I mean? And that's kind of still what it feels like now, which is he has this concept or idea of these Aikos, at least. I don't know how long has he been doing these, and kind of probably giving it away to the team and going like, scatter now, do some ideas, do whatever you want, you know what I mean? And then we can talk. That's what it feels like. And I kind of agree, man. This is a cool thing because I remember doing a project with a couple of people that went terribly wrong, to be honest. I haven't really talked about it in this channel, but it's in my HIO actually. So I have a couple of video games that I've made, and I've made this one, Symphony of the Dirge. And this game was, the story's practically made by me, generally speaking. But this went horribly wrong because I feel like some of the people that worked with me didn't really understand where I was coming from. In terms of like, I didn't really give a lot of details to the story, you know? It's kind of like, this is the overall game, and now scatter and do whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? And they were like, what? What do you mean scatter? No. Like, we need more details. And I'm like, no. This. Go. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel a little bit, at the very least, what Fumito is trying to say here. That's all. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Okay, moving on. Motherfucker thinks he's some fucking art director or some shit. Shut up. Okay. Ueda went on to note, I wish, I really hope so, in the near future. Ueda went on to note that when he approaches, okay, I read this. Once those have been fleshed down and committed to, the development team moves on to the, okay, I read this. Aikus are a combination of words. This is him saying this. And there's also a pacing and a rhythm to it. So there are key words in an aiku poem that can be interpreted in many different ways, he explained. Because everyone's interpretation of what that word means is different, because everyone's interpretation of what that word means is different, because we have different backgrounds and we have different life experiences. Okay. I sort of block these keywords that can be interpreted in many different ways, and then we start to refine the details of how does that flow as a story. Okay, this is to be honest, it's kind of annoying to me as a player to read some of these interviews, in the sense that I feel like I'm kind of spoiling myself a lot. but as an artist, you know what I mean? As an artist and as someone who wants to like improve in terms of creating video games and experiences, this is really, really interesting. Especially because Fumito has a very different way, at least from the artists that I've talked to and know, of viewing art, right? He doesn't like to give answers. He likes to keep everything very broad, but still have a focus. And that balance is really hard to achieve, man. It really is. And it feels like he's still pushing even more for that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Which is pretty cool. Okay. All right, let's see. When asked about themes of stillness and loneliness present in Gen Atlas footage, and why Ueda chooses to pursue these ideas in his works, he turned the game designs, saying that rather than pushing a message for players, he focused on the sensibilities of design. I want Gen Atlas to be as organic as natural as possible. So as a result, the design sensibilities that I continue to pursue conclude in what you see. They just happen to be, let's say, fewer number of characters, or the stillness and the loneliness in the world setting. Okay. Result of design sensibilities that I continue to pursue. Okay, I feel like he's probably also talking here about the balance between gameplay and cinematics, right? Because this game is going to be probably very heavy, I would argue, cinematic-wise. And I don't mean like... I don't even mean like cinematic in terms of cutscenes. I'm talking about gameplay cinematics, right? Or this... Because it's always been a thing with him, right? About balance between cutscenes and cinematic and gameplay, and even the gameplay and translating what you see in the cinematics, right? This is something that I've constantly talked about, especially with The Last of Us 2, where The Last of Us 2, for example, is a game that, in my view, has a big issue when it comes to this balance between gameplay and cinematics, right? There's like a dissonance between these two elements, and I feel like what he's also trying to say is that, right? Like that there's this balance between these two that needs to be achieved, right? Wade also discusses his guiding designs principle, saying that what I say true to when I design our world is that it needs to be as if this really exists. And the reality of the world that I'm building also needs to be real. Okay. Interesting. Okay, let me actually put the trailer here rolling. I'm sure you guys not constantly seeing nothing going on. Can I loop this? How do I loop this? Video? Playback? By the way, right now you're listening to the Final Fantasy X soundtrack, one of the best soundtracks ever to be made by the one and only Nobuo Uematsu, man. My man, dude. My man. Alright, how do I do this? Video? Whatever. In the design, also discuss... Okay, we've read that. To experience. When it came to partnering with Epic Games to make that experience a reality, Ueda said that the team at Epic trusted and supported our creative vision and the trust in them they had. Okay, so this is something that I also said before, that Epic Games was super supportive and didn't really mess with the overall vision that he had for this game. That's cool. Team Epic Games fully backing for technical help using... Okay, this is interesting. This is cool to know. Ueda added that the team at Epic's full backing for technical help using Unreal Engine for the first time. And that the company supported Gen Atlas appearance at Summer's Games Fest, which Ueda called a situation where we're being very accommodated by the Epic partnership. Okay, that's cool. I mean, it would be my suspicion though, right? Like if Epic Games is like publishing this game effectively and supporting this game, I mean, you would want this game to be like very good at the bare minimum in terms of performance, right? Like it doesn't even make sense that it wouldn't be the case, you know? So that's good to know. I'm pretty sure, I'm convinced that when this game releases, it's going to be pretty well optimized, right? I want to believe, man, I really do. Ledin worked with a core group of people for much of his career. He noted that for this team, we really onboarded a lot of young talent. Really? I mean, he did hire a ton of people, to be fair, yeah. But it's interesting that he hired so many young lads. You know what I mean? That's great. But we know that, you know, the team at Gen Design, or at least it feels that way from everything that we know. They can be pretty rough when it comes to like accepting people within the company. It's a very small company, to be fair. So yeah, but I think it's mostly because it's not even because of if a person is talented or not. I think it's mostly of a mentality thing. You know what I mean? You kind of need to probably have the same sort of mentality as these dudes to do this sort of job, because it's probably a very different way of approaching it. You know what I mean? Because I'm betting that Ueda does not give a lot, at least from everything that I'm sensing as an art director. He doesn't give a lot of things in order for you to work with. You know what I mean? And that might be very, very different for a lot of artists. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, man. A lot of the times you have a shit ton of information, and there's also the exact contrary, which is people that are very managing you. You know what I mean? In terms of what to do and how to do it. You know what I mean? So this one feels like, here's a little poem. Fuck off. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean? In terms of my leadership and me being the vision holder, you would have to ask them what they would say. He went on to note that despite being the creative director of Gen Atlas and an industry veteran, he does get my hands dirty on a lot of little things. They might be quite surprised that I'm still very hands-on. That doesn't surprise me, because if you want your actual vision, there is no other people, there is no one else that can actually do it if it's not yourself. You can explain, you can show, you can give directions all you want. The way that you actually see whatever it is, you have to be hands-on, at least in my view. So that doesn't surprise me. It surprises me that an art director does that, to be fair. Especially when you have a sizable team. I mean, 50 people is not a lot of people, to be fair. So you do have to be pretty hands-on, I would argue. So yeah. Wait, why did my screen? Oh, okay. Despite his work on Despite his work on River titles, Ueda says that he prefers not to revisit his past work. He explained that he would be very critical of the work that I've done, and you know, for us creators, it's like what we were able to achieve and put into that package lives as a piece of work at the time of that era. Okay, sadly, I will never be able to undo that and see it and experience it with a fresh set of eyes and feelings, because I've lived through it already. Rather than this being a hindrance, Ueda said, he believes that the lines of thinking will allow me to also move forward. I mean, I think that's pretty normal also, right? When you're doing, it's kind of like when people are like super, it's always funny for me when I see that, when people are like super fans of something, and then they talk to the people that created that said thing, you know what I mean? And they are like, I don't give a damn about this fucking game, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've worked on it, but now I don't care about it. You know what I mean? A lot of people are like that. And I feel like some, yo, what's up, Alada? How you doing, brother? I feel like a lot of people are like, surprised when they see developers or anyone saying that, like that. Wait, you've made this, but you don't care? And it's like, yeah, man. Like, there's a lot of people that don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that that's the case with what he's trying to say for me to wait here, you know what I mean? But he's the creator of these games. He and Gen Design. I don't see them going back and playing these games or anything like that. For funsies, you know what I mean? maybe for nostalgia to reminisce about like what they had done before, but that's about it. That's my feeling, you know what I mean? I certainly don't do that. But yeah. Let me see. It's almost ending here. It's actually a pretty short interview, which is interesting. Sadly, I will never be... Okay, no. He later conceded, however, that if a long amount of time has already transpired or passed, I may be able to look at it with a more calm and collective self, and not be as critical as knowing what things could have happened. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's kind of one of those... Yeah, you're constantly criticizing everything that you do as a game developer, and you have that sort of... You have that pair of eyes, not as a player, but as a developer, you know what I mean? You're looking at things in a completely different way, you know what I mean? You're looking at a game that you've made like, oh, this could have been better, this could have been better, oh my god, there's that one bug, holy, I needed to fix that, but that would take me like a month or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a completely different way of looking at a video game, especially when you worked it for so long. Yeah. It's complicated. I mean, there's people and people, right? There's people that definitely enjoy to play their own video games. And honestly, that's how it kind of started. I always talk about this one guy. This one dude. Roller Coaster Tycoon. But Chris Sawyer, to me, is an absolute inspiration of a man. By the way, the interview is practically over. It's a very, very short interview. Kind of surprised that was the case. I'm even confused why it's locked, but sure. Chris Sawyer is the man who made Roller Coaster Tycoon, and it's literally the equivalent of making a one of the best games ever made. Honestly, I love this game, dude. This game is amazing. In terms of like visual art style, this game is for the year that it came, you know what I mean? This game is superb. This game is amazingly well done. What was I going to say about this guy? I don't even remember. But you know, making one of these games in the 90s or whatever and managing to pull such a beautiful art style, it's insane. It's actually crazy. What was I going to say with this? I forgot for a moment. Some people are romantics and others are pragmatic. For some, it's art. For others, it's just a job. Basically, yeah. That was kind of very surprising to me when I joined the industry, because I'm super passionate about this industry. But then you meet people that are like, I don't give a damn, bro. I just want the money at the end of the day and be done. If I can climb the corporate ladder and get more money, even better for me, you know? There's people that think like that. I've met people that haven't played video games at all. Like, don't know shit about video games, but they're just really good at that one job. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, we want you, bro. You know what I mean? And it makes sense. If you're really good at... She was actually super good at, like, rendering, programming stuff. She's actually working right now on the game... What is the game called? Freaking, I always forget the name. Light No Fire? Yeah, I think she's working at this company, so I'm pretty sure she's working in this game, right? I don't know what she's actually working on, if it's the other game or this one, but she doesn't know shit about video games. That's what she told me. She never played any video games whatsoever and anything. She mostly focused her stuff on like programming, and she got a job in the end, and she's like, oh, fuck it, sure. I was like, what? Okay. That's a thing. You know, but when a certain job demands people, you do notice that a lot, that in video games, people are hiring people that are not only good at what they do, but that are passionate about video games. You know what I mean? That they like the video games, and especially the video game that they're working on, or the style of video game that they're working on. But when demand comes for a certain job or role, especially rendering and programming and technical stuff, yeah, it is what it is. You know what I mean? You got to put that money on top, and you gotta open up space for people that are not really knowledgeable about video games to come in. It is what it is. You were going to say you want to fight this guy in a ring and take his world. championship belt, or that you respect them for working on tight budget and being creative or something? I mean, I don't know. Probably. I remember, actually, I'm gonna talk about a little bit of a game that I made, which was this one, which we kind of had this same issue of hardware. This is like a super simple game that we made, me and 2 other buddies. And this is basically like a 1-button game, right? That was the objective. Let's make a little 1-button game quickly, right? And the game is like, we had a completely different idea for the game. You know what I mean? Like right now it's just, can I open this image? I don't have the game right now. But right now the game is like, you're this character and you're running around this like city that is completely like engulfed in like this AI, whatever. But yeah, and your objective is to reach that building on top. You know what I mean? But the initial idea, when we even made like a small little game design document, whatever, it was completely different. Like the idea was completely different. It was like 2 like characters. One of them had like these. We talked about like light powers and another dark powers, but it's kind of like we didn't want to go for light and dark. It was kind of just a way for us to like distinguish. One would build and another one would destroy. And it would be like a setting where, you know, dude, the idea is actually, oh my God, the idea is so different. It was like, let me bring my epic pen here. Okay. The idea was kind of like you would have like a fissure in the land, right? You have like a massive land in the right side and on the left side, like a mountain, 2 mountains. And then like, this was like deep as hell, you know what I mean? This part. And you have like an objective to reach all the way to the top still. But one character would move along here and another one would move along here. And they would need to help each other, you know, to pass different things. It was just completely different, way more complex, you know. And we were like, bro, we have no time and knowledge about Unity and shit and workflows. What the fuck are we doing? We need to simplify this shit. And it ended up being like a kid running around like a city, you know what I mean? Reaching an objective, you know? My point is with this is more like what he's talking about at the end of the interview, which is if a long amount of time has transpired, and not be as critical as knowing what things should have or could have happened, right? It's kind of one of those, a lot of the times when we are making a video game, things will change drastically. A lot of the times if they need to the point that is kind of unrecognizable from the first iteration or the first game design document that you have wrote. And you just have to deal with it and just accept it. Don't like stick to that idea constantly. It's like if things need to change, you have to like be okay with it, you know? Is this sponsored part of the stream? Who backs you up? Tencent? Microsoft? Totally, dude. Totally, man. Absolutely. My bad, dude. My bad. Shameless self-promotion, okay? Shameless, dude. That's pretty much it. That's very short. I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting a little bit more from this interview, especially a paid one, which is kind of a weird one. Did I miss anything? Let me see if I missed anything. What I say true to when design our world is that it needs to be... No, I've read that. If a designer on where the team pitches an idea, he said he tends to ask if they believe... Oh, I didn't read this. Did I? If a designer on Ueda's team pitches him an idea, he said he tends to ask if they believe that this already existed from the beginning in the world that we are building together. The player needs to be convinced, but not in the way that they are forcing it onto you. It needs to feel as if it already existed, and it is very rooted in the world that we've built for you to experience. Huh. So if a designer pitches an idea, he tends to ask if they believe that this already existed from the beginning in the world that they were building. The players need to be convinced, but not in the way that they're forcing that onto you. It needs to feel as part of that experience. Interesting. Can I okay. Interesting. I mean, it makes sense, right? Like if you have like I wonder how this design process is for them, because it feels like this company is not really too heavy on lore or anything like that. They don't like, I don't know, man. I would love to like have a day there just to see how they work, man. I'm so curious to see if they have like a shit ton of lore, you know, and all that sort of stuff. Because I even remember when I was in Frontier and working on Warhammer stuff, they had like a little section in the company where you could actually go and check the lore of Warhammer and the whole story and art and all that. And I'm like, bro, if you ask me anything when it comes to the lore of Warhammer, I don't know anything. I literally don't know anything. Because when I joined the team, that's not why I joined the fucking team. I didn't care. I never cared about the lore of Warhammer in my life, dude. And I love Dawn of War. You know what I mean? But like, I didn't care about any of that. But you know, yeah, it's logical to keep coherency of world presented and believable. Yes, but my thing is more like, I feel like these guys don't really put too much notes in terms of like wait, Warhammer lore is really cool by the Emperor and Heretic as a I know you guys are not the only ones saying that, to be fair. Like not the first time I'm hearing that. I mean, that's just a me thing, you know. I love Dawn of War, not because of the lore, but because of the gameplay and the brutality of it all. You know what I mean? I love that shit, man. And it's just an amazing RTS. I don't know about the Warhammer 4, but we'll see. But the thing is, like, what I'm confused is, like, these guys clearly have, like, some general ideas of what they want to do, you know what I mean? But it feels like a lot of it's open field for people to, like, explore. And then at the end of the day, Fumito Ueda basically does the call. But it's like, a lot of the times it's just feelings, you know what I mean? If it makes sense or not when you're playing. I don't know, man. I would just like to be there one day, you know, just to have a conversation, just to see even, just to look at what they do, man. I'd love to see that. But yeah. Not that they're like super different from like other developers overall, you know what I mean? But there are like clearly different routes that they go for in terms of game development, you know, at least from what I know. Simple things like the haiku thing is a big one. Like if that's what you're handling to your designers, especially guys that come in for the first time, they're probably like, oh shit, here we go. But yeah, I think that's mostly it. I do want to mention, like, in my last video that I made, gen design theory, I mean, it's a pretty simple theory, to be fair. Nothing crazy. But there were a couple of comments here that were interesting. I didn't even reply to them. I'm actually so fucking bad. But this guy actually said something interesting. The first image released in 2021, you could clearly see areas with grass or some kind of vegetation. Perhaps that idea was scrapped, or maybe as we move forward, we'll see nature return. Okay, I think he's talking about this one. I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure it is. We see vegetation. Whoops. We see vegetation, right? And this, like, lion figure that is called Tigris Gesneri, right? I don't really know what we don't know if that's the case, right? If this is not a confirmation of that, like he says, I don't believe that it is. But what is interesting about this little dude, Tigris Gesneri, is that this was made by this guy, right? An historical woodcut illustration of a tiger. Wait, woodcut illustration? Like an illustration made in wood? Or like carved in wood? Because there's a big difference. I'm guessing it was probably painted in wood. That's my guess. But it was made by this guy, Swiss naturalist named... Konrad Gesner? Gesnier? for a book that he wrote called Historiae Animalium. And what this book is effectively, and I don't want to say bad words here, so let me read this. An encyclopedic inventory of Renaissance zoology. Gesner was a medical doctor and professor at the Staffristaff in Zurich, the precursor of University of Zurich. The Historia Animalium, after Aristotle's work of the same name, is the first modern zoological work that attempted to describe all the animal known, and the first bibliography of natural history writings. Okay, so I don't know, there's not much that we can do with this, to be fair, but this is not something new, to be fair, because in The Last Guardian, they explore these sorts of cinematics. In The Last Guardian, it's literally the first shot that we see is this, right? So we see a bunch of like different animals from these types of illustrations of like the 15th, 16th, 17th century. So this is not something new, so to speak, in terms of work that Fumito Ueda has done, okay? But it kind of makes me wonder if we're not maybe going to see something along the lines of like scan, because we know that we can scan the environment. That's something that he confirmed, right? If we can scan the environment, what are we scanning for? Flora? Potential like elements that can help us to achieve our objective? Sure. But maybe even animals, right? Maybe we can see animals. And maybe that's even the objective, is to create a sort of encyclopedia of the animals that we see throughout the ages. You know, maybe this is our objective. Or one of those objectives, you know? To document everything that we see. You know? Maybe we can find Trico in there. That, honestly, that will not happen, but that would be so fucking cool, though. That would be so fucking cool. Or maybe even just an Easter egg. Oh, maybe like a creature that resembles Trico in some manner. Dude, that would be so sick if he did that. Please, we need that. I mean, if it's even a thing, this is just me assuming things, because we do know that in this game, we're gonna have like different visual settings. What up, JP? Where time will pass like a lot, right? Like there's gonna be passages of times that are like fucking centuries, most likely. We're not sure if it's days, months, years, centuries. We don't know. But I'm assuming, at least from everything that has been talked about, that it's gonna be like large leaps of time, and we're talking probably like centuries or millennia. You know what I mean? And in those spans of times, we're going to probably see also a lot of different lives. We see those like little alien dudes, you know what I mean? Those are probably some of the early ones that we can probably see, right? These little guys, right? But maybe like in the distant future, we can actually see animals that are more resembling of like stuff that we see, you know, in our world, like rabbits and stuff. Who knows? I posted an image on Discord that may look like grass, but it's just some green texture. Let's see. In theory crafting? Oh, maybe that's the one. Oh, maybe that's the image, yeah. I don't actually know which image is he speaking about, to be honest. Yeah, because this is an early concept art of this game, right? This is a pretty early concept art of this game. And I remember even when I made that one video over analyzing Project Robot, I was very confused about this image. Because this image just didn't make sense with the game overall that was presented, Project Robot, right? Or the visual style. Because you have like a robot that's very different from like the robots that we see even in this trailer, right? This new trailer. Yeah, what up, Magic? Did we find out why there were painted goats in several places in the PlayStation 4 Shadow of the Colossus? Painted goats? What? I don't know about that. Painted goats? What? Dude, I don't really know much about the Shadow of the Colossus remake meant to be done. What painted goats are you talking about? Painted goats. Shadow of the Colossus? 4 hidden... What? This is new knowledge for me.
What it means. Maybe each individual goat are their own Easter egg. Maybe they're part of a larger secret, and I think that's what a lot of people are hoping. But
bruh, what the fuck is this?
here is the 4th goat that was found. I wish I can give credit to the person who originally found it. It was originally posted on 4.
This is not in the game, right? In the original one. What the hell is this? The thing with these sorts of stuff that people find in the new Shadow of the Colossus, the remake, it's like it's so hard to like make anything out of this because we don't know if it was in the hands of Fumito Ueda or not, right? Like it probably wasn't. From everything that we know that Fumito Ueda made some conversations with Blue Point Games just for some directions, but that's about it. I had no clue about this, to be dead honest. What the fuck?
And no one can really seem to find that post anymore, so I can't give.
So there's 4 of them? Is that it? I had no clue about this.
Is due, but there is going to discover the mystery. Now here you'll find this one in D2. It's kind of in the forest, right in the center of D2. It's along the cliffside. So go to that location. Now here's a map of the current 4 locations.
It's so interesting how people always do this, right? Like when they find like 4 elements of whatever, the tendency for people is always to like unite them in a cross and trying to find like the center point. That is so, why humans are fucking weird, dude. You guys are weird. You guys are all weird. But we always tend to do this. You know what I mean? I'm teaching you Kouto something. It's a of course, man. Like what? That's why we're talking here. You know, if you guys can show stuff that is different, new, different ideas, I'm all about it, man. Let's fucking go. I had no clue about this. Let's go. But why though? What is this? This was definitely made by Blueprint Games and not like it was. Did it have the hand of Fumito? That's the question.
The number of which we found them. I drew lines.
Why goats? What?
Connecting each point.
Oh my god,
maybe
dude.
That's,
why do these games do this to me?
This is kind of pointing to something. We don't know. Maybe there's more goats. The community hopefully will find it, and when they do...
Wait, when was this? Oh, this was 8 years ago. Sorry, Brian and Leo's already knew about the 4th goat. Okay.
Relay that.
Wait, is there info about this? Shadow of the Colossus goats. What is this shit? So what was that thing about the goats? Probably meant something about the dev team, but they haven't done anything of value for the actual game aside from further community engagement. Like the glint hunts were. No one even found a 5th goat, but it was out of bounds area and not meant to be seen, and most of the area was also unloaded, not featuring the goat. Okay. Yeah, what? Even some people are like, what the fuck is this guy talking about, man? Was this just a reference to like the greatest of all time, you know, the GOAT? This is the GOATed game? Was that it? What's up, dev team? Oh my god, possible GOAT origin? Damn. Oh boy. Oh, here we go. 2015, Omar Kalas uploaded 2 pictures of flicker of an amazing theocrafting made by had a world map with all the unused Colossus. You know what thing that I love about Shadow of the Colossus, by the way, is that it uses papyrus. You know what I mean? Everybody talks shit about papyrus and Comic Sans, but it can be really fucking good, man. We had a world map with all the unused Colossi placed on their right locations. Our image highlighted some theories made by hackers that have been digging Shadow of the Colossus for very long years, and the result is indeed phenomenal. Okay. Nicole's little take on OPM demo made with 8 Colossi included. What am I looking at? Wait, so this is the map of like the 8 Colossi that were supposed to be there? That were taken off? Is that what he's saying? Okay. The map is very well made. It included a K quadrant, both invisible lenses, so as many unused locations. He did even draw the quadrants, reimagining the whole structure of some places. It's admirable work. Indeed, Moklaus has stated that both images were made by her. Okay. So the watermark belongs to... Oh, give me a sec. I need to get a call here. Give me one sec. I'll be right back. ¿Por qué? Okay, all right, back. Sorry, folks. Sorry about that. Imagine Asha Sharma coming out and announcing Gen Alice is going to be an Xbox exclusive. What? I doubt Ueda was hands off. Yeah, I don't think so. So the watermark belongs to Nicole Little, which is a goat. This watermark? So it's a reference to that? Okay, so it's just... Okay, this little goat. It does look very close. That's for sure. Oh, there. Okay. Okay, it just feels like a little prank from people. I get it. Did you see the Steam Fest yet? No, I did not. What? Time to be alive? Kouto on direct. Wait, I wish, man. Yo, what up, Griffin? I got to do a podcast with Takeshi Furukawa last year. He could talk about Project Robo, but he couldn't talk about... Who is Takeshi? Wait, isn't that the songwriter, the composer? Wait, you did? What? Oh, how did you manage to do that? What? How, Griffin? Show me... Oh. How do you just do you guys just go out of your way to like send a message to these dudes and just hope? You know what I mean? Because honestly, fucking fair, man. That's awesome. That's fucking awesome. So he couldn't talk about Project Robot? Damn, what podcast is that, man? I have no idea how I managed. Fair. What podcast is that? Is it in your channel right now? That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. I mean, yeah, he probably can't talk about this, right? Pretty, look up For Me to Wait a Podcast. For Me to Wait a Podcast. For Me to Wait a Podcast. This one? The Wait a Podcast? What the hell is this? Albert Chiza? Oh, this one? Oh, this is like your podcast. It's an Apple. Okay, I was confused on what was this Apple podcast. Is that you? Fucking gamer, dude.
Good.
What did I do?
Excellent. And our guest of honor, Takeshi Furukawa.
Thank you guys for having me. It's I can't speak. The pleasure and privilege is all mine. Thanks for having me here.
No worries at all. We, I believe, are beaming to you at around about 6 p.m. your time. I believe some coffee's involved as well.
Absolutely.
Wait, so he couldn't talk about like Project Robot? Is that it? He only talked about like what, old shit, like The Last Guardian? Because that's basically what he worked on, right? The Last Guardian. Yeah, Albert does a lot of game podcasts, and I reached out to him, and it just happened. It was wow, really. I need to do that. I need to do that more often, man. Reach out to people. You know, I have been thinking about, I don't know if any of you are interested, the ones that are watching right now. But I am very much a fan of Berserk, and there is the studio called what are they called? Studio Archie, and I've thought about reaching to them just to have like a conversation about what they are doing, because they're doing a really, really fucking cool job in creating like the Black Swordsman arc of Studio Archie, Berserk animation. I don't know. I feel like I should probably do that more. You know what I mean? Because it's always cool to like talk to people. And honestly, that's kind of how you get a better understanding of things, generally speaking, instead of just being fucking alone, talking about shit. You know what I mean? And these guys are doing an amazing job, our Studio Archie, and just recreating in like this 1997 sort of style of game, a style of like the old anime, like this new sort of thing. You know what I mean? I just go, is it because I reached out to the host? Oh, I see. He wants you on? Wait, what do you mean? Oh, this guy? The Weta podcast? Oh, I'd be down. Let's go. I'd be down. Have you ever chatted with Nomad before or tried to get a hold of them? I've never really chatted with Nomad. No, we've talked in YouTube comments, but that's about it. Most likely, for the most part, Moose. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, dudes, like, there's a lot. I want to mention this, okay? There's a lot that I don't know about Weta games. There's definitely people out there that know way more about specific parts of these games more than me. I want to make that extremely clear, okay? Like, if you talk to, for example, Mystic Code about Ico specifically and the demos and everything about the behind the scenes of that game, like, there's no one better to talk to than Mystic Code. Right? No one. Like, what I like to focus more is like the art direction part of the game, generally speaking, because that's the part that I personally love the most. That's because that's even what I do in my personal stuff. So yeah. After your initial Project Robot video, he mentioned we gotta do another episode with you on it. Sure, let's fucking do it, man. Let's do it. If you guys want, I'd be down. But yeah, I would be more than down. But yeah, pretty much this. I feel like this whole goat thing though is pretty much like it's probably just a meme from the dudes. You know what I mean? The what do you call it? The Blue Point Studios. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what we're seeing here. So that's yeah. Could it be origin of the goat similar to the 79 steps to enlightenment? Oh, so he's basically talking that. Just like the 79 Steps of Enlightenment is a reference directly to Nomad Colossus, this could be a reference to this other person that I didn't even know she made these maps that basically recreated different parts of the Shadow of the Colossus, you know. How would they look like in terms of like the overall level design and all that sort of stuff of the unused Colossi? I mean, okay, that's pretty much, honestly, this is probably what's happening here. That's pretty much it. That's cool. That's cool. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me if something along those lines. All right. Guys, I feel like that's pretty much it in terms of this. But yeah, in terms of, what do you call it? Let me do away to Gen Design and Gen Atlas stuff. I do have one more theory that I kind of want to put out there. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going with it, to be honest. But it's about the main character. I think it's mostly just going to be a collection of ideas regarding the main character that we know directly from Fumito Ueda from interviews, but also like just my own thoughts on it. Yeah, I do think that we're going to see like a pretty tragic ending to this game. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of feeling that way. I mean, we'd never really had like an happy ending, so to speak, in any of these games, right? I don't think this game is gonna be completely different at all from the previous 3 games for sure. And if anything, it's going to be even more devastating because I don't think there's going to be anything that is going, like, I don't think the robot head or the kid is going to stay alive at the end. I think they're both gonna die, even though they're humanoids, so they can't really die, you know what I mean? In the traditional sense of human sense, you know? Even if they are like replicants of Blade Runner, because the replicants of Blade Runner have like implemented memories on them and shit. And they feel like human, they think they're human, but everybody has... TLG has a nice ending? Really? I mean, Did it? Wait, how did... Wait, Dance Prince, how do you think the last Guardian ended? The Trico... I don't want to spoil. I don't know if people have seen I've played The Last Guardian, but okay, guys, if you haven't played The Last Guardian, move away right now, all right? Get out of here. But like, The Last Guardian, Trico dies, right? Trico fucking dies. There's no way. Like, you see, this isn't a happy ending, man. This is at the bare minimum a bittersweet ending. You know what I mean? I mean, I would consider it a sad ending, but I mean, the kid is saved, right, at the end of the day, but self-sacrifice is the word, right? He capped? Wait, what? We capped? Wait, what? She capped? Wait, what? What do you mean? What do you mean, child? Man, Ueda is gonna add a bittersweet ending? Yeah, he's going to for sure. Give us a bittersweet ending at the very least. In TLG, you see a few sets of eyes in the shadow. I thought it was a way to show Trico alive. Nah, man. I think it's mostly like, she escaped? Nah, dude. Nah, Trico died, dude. There's no way. I don't believe it. It's kind of like in the... what is the Iron... Isn't it in the Iron Giant that always gives you like this idea in the end also that the robot is alive, but you're not entirely sure or something? So that ambiguity is definitely in Ico, right? And in The Last Guardian, where it's like, did Trico and Yorda survive or not, right? It's kind of the same vibe. I don't know, man. I always think that they died. Both of them, both Yorda and Trico, to be honest. But I guess you can make it whatever you want with them, right? There's not really a definitive answer. It's kind of like you decide what is the ending of this game, right? But yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's an answer at all. But to me, it feels like they died. Because they're making like the sacrifice... they're self-sacrificing them for you to... I don't know. It feels like much more... It feels stronger if that's the case, man. I don't know. Red is really good at making endings that we can interpret. Yeah, and I mean, he's definitely doing this same approach for this new game, for sure, right? I thought it was implied that Trico and the Devil Trico and the Evil Tricos had kids. Yes, but it doesn't... but at the end of the day, when you see here, for example, Trico... let me see. And that is how it ended? Yeah, because he says that we never saw the I never saw the Trico ever again, or something along those lines, right? Didn't he say something like that? Ah, yeah, that's why. I doubt it has long to live. Because the wounds were so severe, right? Wait, actually, if the nest is down, weren't all the Tricos going to die anyway? Because the Tricos were connected to the nest, right? You even see them falling, right? When the nest is destroyed, right? If you hold R1 at the end of TLG, Trico horns light up in the dark. Oh. Yo, what up, Buddha? Buddha. I need to replay this game. This is probably the one game that I know the least, to be honest. It's been a long time. Okay, but there is like an... Let me just skip here. Yeah! Oh my god, I need to skip more! Un momento, por favor. Dude, this part of the epilogue is crazy when you see the boy like old. It's like, whoa, damn. Dude, let me shut up the Final Fantasy song, man. What are you doing, Final Fantasy? Shut up, man. It's not your time. Let me see. Reached out to Albert about making a new episode, so we'll see. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Let's fucking do it, man. I was like 12, 13 when I played it, though. They hint that the evil one survived. It was the only one still standing after that, after the escape, because we knocked the helmet off. No! Wait, what do you mean skip, dude? Fucking guy. The disc, man. The mirror, I would argue. Yeah, the mirror. That, in my view, definitely comes from a lot of ideas from, you know, Japanese culture. I'm dead sure. I'm dead sure that was the main inspiration. My guy's got tattoo in his face and everything, man. In his forehead. Bro, this is some Simba vibes, you know what I mean? Lion King. Remember, Simba. In Portuguese, he says, Lembrate. Lembrate de quem és. Something like that. Right, so he points the mirror up to the sky. And it goes directly to the nest again. This, can I just say that this structure is so fucking weird. Me and Odd were actually arguing that this could potentially be like a massive tree that was like fossilized. You know what I mean? we were running wild, dude. But this ends exactly like the Iron Giant, though. Holy man, even in this like little epilogue, you know? Crazy. The last Guardian stream?
The last Guardian stream PLS.
I appreciate the tip for the trends. I appreciate it, man. It needs to happen. It needs to happen, dude. That's for sure. I'm gonna suck at these puzzles, man, not gonna lie. And now he farts? Sorry. I don't know, man. It's so good. The thing is, like, I feel like this comes from a desire of the main character to see him again, right? That's what I feel. It comes from a desire to see him once again. And even him remembering that initial encounter that they had here, because that's when they both meet the first time, you know what I mean? But it obviously gives you that sense of hope of like, I won't. Oh, man. Why did that? Oh my god! That little music playing though. That little music playing is so good though. Holy man. No wonder this guy is still in this company. Jesus. Yo, what up, Diana? This is one of my favorite endings ever. If you press O and Trico appears, you can... Yeah, okay, yeah. Control Check is going to be a pain. I think the soundtrack also alone makes this my favorite Weta game. Wait, see, Gleam says that Trico and you can make the baby horns glow. Wait, of this part right here? You guys are mentioning this part right here, right? It makes no sense for it not to be... Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, Buddha. What I'm saying is that, to me, what it feels like is that this scene is like, it's not real, so to speak. It's just a desire from, it's kind of like in Ico, you know what I mean? You know the dream sequence, so to speak? That's, some people believe that Yorda is still alive, right? I feel like this is kind of the same thing here, you know what I mean? This is like, this is coming from a desire from the main character to see Trico once again in the same spot, you know what I mean? Where they meet it again, you know? I don't know, this is just the way that I'm viewing things. It makes complete sense also to believe that, yeah, Trico is still alive, you know, and he maybe went back to like the place where he feels more comfortable and is reminded of the kid that he met here, you know what I mean? Sure. I just feel like, personally, I don't think that's the case. I feel like Trico unfortunately died. Could also be showing us that Trico, Rays, or wherever they are finally free from the Valley of the Master, or wherever the orb is called. Yeah, Valley of the Master? No, Master of the Valley. Master of the Valley, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. Great ending, though. Great fucking ending. But yeah, I can't wait to cry on the new one. Can't fucking wait. That's pretty much it for this, folks. That's pretty much it, man. It's almost 8? Damn, dude. All right, I'm cooked. Let's see. Okay, I wanted to talk a little bit about Final Fantasy. Something that I haven't really done that much. So I think I'm just going to do that. I want to see the Final Fantasy VII Revelation trailer again. And check some of the interviews potentially, really quick. And see what's up. Let's see. Because I am very excited for this game, but I haven't really had a chance to talk about it. I am now replaying slowly, very slowly, Rebirth.
A shadow fell upon our
I
planet.
do want to mention that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a very good game, but in my view, it has some issues, man. I'm not that big of a fan of how they structured even like the
Guided by calamity.
especially that Chocobo area in the beginning. What is it called? The Grasslands? Grasslands Rebirth. From what I remember, they actually improved quite a lot in terms of like the foliage pop-up and all that sort of stuff. It's looking much better now, and even the lighting. Because I remember this game had a shit ton of issues with lighting, man, of exposure values going up and down in crazy ways. But yeah, this kind of... my problem is, like, this game sometimes feels kind of like an offline MMO or something. I don't know, man. I would prefer, but this is just me, I would prefer if this game followed more of a linear sort of storyline, you know? And not so much this thing of, like, you come out of the calm, right? And you see all of this happening and shit. It's pretty cool. And you have this thing of, like, leaving the town. Sure, awesome. But then you reach this area, and if you're playing in normal, right, you have a major block here because you're fighting against, I think it's the Leviathan, if I'm not mistaken. Leviathan, it's the name. And it can actually be pretty challenging, you know what I mean? It's like, you need some levels in there. I don't know, man. I just feel like but that's how original Final Fantasy VII is. It's not grindy at all, though. Final Fantasy VII is not grindy at all. You can basically go from beginning to end, for the most part, from what I remember, and I played it recently, without really, like, grinding at all. the original Final Fantasy VII has the issue of like, you have a map and sometimes you just want to explore it. You know, it's kind of the reverse of this. Sometimes you're in a map, you want to explore it, but you feel like you can't because of the random encounters. That's what it feels like to me. It has that issue of like the random encounters are just annoying as shit. You probably have cheats on the whole time. I did have the speed up. That's basically it. I had the speed up. That helps. That's for sure. So maybe my my experience got tainted by that. Yeah. Rebirth had pacing and tone issues. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm too accustomed to more like linear experiences where I just follow the story a little bit more. But even Final Fantasy X, I'll talk about Final Fantasy X because that's the one that I know the most. At least from what I remember, and I've played Final Fantasy X a couple of times. You don't need to like grind at all. Like you need to fight. Obviously, you need to gain levels and sphere grid up, but you don't really need to grind at all to like proceed to through the game. There might be like one fight, Unalesca, that might be a little bit harder, sure, but that's about it. The fights are pretty standard, you know what I mean? I just don't like the okay, my thing is like, you have the Calm that has a lot of cinematics and it's pretty cool, and then you have this whole area, right? And then you reach the Leviathan. I feel like there's a big discrepancy between cinematics, gameplay, and again cinematics. It's too far, you know what I mean? It's like you're here for too long. You like the game teaches you that you play a little bit, you get a cinematic. You play a little bit, you get a cinematic. You know what I mean? And then suddenly you reach this area that is just hours of gameplay. You know what I mean? Feels that way. And then you get like a cinematic, you know? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, that's what I felt. For Final Fantasy X, that's very true because you became powerful alone from upgrading the skill tree. And Final Fantasy X, the random encounters are insane where you own open areas. That's true. That's true. That is true. Hi everyone. Meu Kouto, você é foda. Keep up with the great content. I appreciate it, Miguel. How you doing, brother? How you doing? But to be honest, like random encounters are just annoying. Just annoying. So, that especially when you just want to explore or see things, random encounters are just there, and they're just like, get me on. You know what I mean? So yeah, but yeah.
One man sought dominion through reunion. By his will,
Bro, this is some Catholic stuff right here, though.
Through reunion. By his will.
Bruh. Hello?
By his...
I didn't even notice that this guy right here is Cloud. I didn't even notice him, man. Damn.
Will. A star fell.
Okay.
A meteor.
Sorry, I was just kind of looking because the composition is pretty nice. I kind of dig it. Even the hands. Focusing on the main character Sephiroth here. I don't know, but what I like is mostly like the clouds, right? Because the clouds are making like circles, you know? But they almost feel like invisible circles. But everything is like helping to point the composition to the center of this area, which is Sephiroth, right? Which is the objective. But I don't know. I just like the how they made the clouds here. It's pretty cool.
By his will, a star fell. A meteor called forth to bring ruin to all.
Damn. Damn, I love that little detail of the clouds, dude. The clouds even going like reddish. Pretty nice.
But our planet answered.
Weapons!
Awakening mighty weapons to stand against this celestial threat. Now.
Dude, and the northern crater looks insane. It looks crazy. To be fair, you can go to the middle section and just mainline it by going straight to the boss. I did that actually, and I lost the first time I did it. Not gonna lie. Shit gamer, dude. Skill issue. I love random encounters. Gleamy, you'll be weak to fight against him. Yeah, you will be weak to fight against him. You need to level up at least a little bit, for sure. Yeah, you do need that. It's not like Rebirth carries over your levels from Remake, which it did. Now you have to upgrade or you'll best sort of soft-locked. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of whatever, but it's just that I think it's fine that it locks you there. I don't think it's the problem, but the problem is the game teaches you before that it has that sort of rhythm of like gameplay cinematic, gameplay cinematic, gameplay cinematic, and then suddenly you reach the grasslands and it's like gameplay, 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 and then you get a cinematic. You know what I mean? That, dude, I'm too used to like games like Final Fantasy X or Jack and Daxter even, or Ratchet and Clank are really, really good games at that. Like the old PS2 games at least. Like they're super good at doing that. Like if you go back and play those games, they're super good at maintaining a rhythm. You know what I mean? Of like that cinematic and gameplay structure.
Hope
But yeah.
endures in those who fight.
I wonder what happened to Cait Sith though. The animatronic thingy, the white dude. What happened to him? Because he never shows up in this trailer. Did it got destroyed? Did they just get rid of the dude? I wonder. Like, did they talk about that on interviews or anything like that? Because that is a weird one for sure. Because he appears all the way to the end, right, of the game. So, you know, one thing that I do appreciate about these games is that it's made in Unreal Engine 4, and it doesn't completely burn out your computer.
Long story.
The issues is that we need a fourth installment to have all three games under the same hood, where it continues, where it continues as one whole open world. I mean, it doesn't really make sense that this game is 3 parts, in my view. It just doesn't. It could definitely just be one game. There's a lot of sections, especially in the first game, that I'm like, why is there so much of this? But, you know,
World's in trouble.
it's cool that they expand certain things, but it feels like if this was just one full core experience, or they could cut different things from the first and the second game and they would bring that all together. I don't know, man. I feel like there wasn't a need for 3 parts. Maybe 2, sure. I can see 2, but 3, nah.
Has been for a while.
So what are we waiting?
Ooh, wait, you can actually even see the
Has
meteor
been
all the way up there. That's pretty cool.
For a while.
So what are we waiting for? Let's give Sephiroth the beating of a lifetime.
Can I just say that Barrett's voice acting in English is peak, man. Peak, bro. This is the one shot, man, of my boy Vincent here. Just not giving a fuck. It's the one thing that this game did so well. It's the character development, dude. It's insanely good. Sith was scarficed at the temple to get... Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah, because he sacrifices himself there or some shit, right? But then he's like, oh, JK, I'm an animatronic. Haha, I could do that all the time. It's fine. Because I'm in Shinra Corporation, dudes. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. You know? His performance during the dine scene should have won him best performance. Man, they gotta make money somehow. Also keep the hype up, IG. Fair. Ooh, Tai. Hutai is gonna be pretty cool to see, man. Because like in the OG one, it's pretty much just a side story. And now it has a lot more importance in this remake, sequel, whatever this is. So it's going to be pretty cool to see the impact between the war of Hutai and Midgar? Junon? What was it? One of those.
You're mine.
Ooh, limit breaks.
I'll make this quick.
Can we play the other ones though? You know, because Vincent has 4 limits, 4 creatures that he can move. This is the first one, right? This is the first limit. We have the Frankenstein dude is the one that I'm mostly excited for, man. I don't know his name. He probably has a name. I don't know his name. Even though the 4th one is peak, but this is super cool, man.
Quick.
I've said this on Discord, man. Like my trio is going to be Cloud, Vincent, and Yuffie, man. It has to be that trio.
The sky's the limit.
Sid's gonna be cool because I think he's gonna have a lot of like aerial stuff.
I could do this.
Dude, I swear they took some notes from Expedition 33, man. In that talk, the Expedition 33 dudes were like, guys, you need to understand something about your fans. They love fashion. At the end of the day, man, these games are all about fashion, dude, you know? So you need to bring those goddamn clothings, man. You do.
Make you proud.
But it's pretty cool that they're actually doing something different than Expedition 33, because from what I remember, the clothing in Expedition 33 doesn't actually do anything, right? It's just cosmetics, which is fine because we love cosmetics. But in this one, it's actually tied to the job system, the new job system of the game. Why does this have so much, bro? Fucking. Hello. Okay. This is tied to the job system, which is pretty cool. Wutai is the place I'm most excited to visit. Dude, those battles in Wutai was insane. I wonder how it'll transfer.
I'll make you proud.
And when you're in world mode outside of Wutai, the bosses there are even crazier. Give you so much gil. Outfits are cringe and it's low effort. What?
Just ain't your day.
I mean, they had that in Final Fantasy X too, and it was also tied to the job system, and it worked out pretty well. Even though Final Fantasy X too. Don't get me started.
Oh my.
I can't even. Have you guys seen this bullshit, by the way? Not to get off topic, but 10 2.5. Have you guys seen this absolutely horrendous bullshit called Final Fantasy X 2.5? Holy man. Where do I... Yo, Nojima, what are you doing? Nojima wrote one of the best stories ever made in video games. And then he wrote 10.2 and 2.5. And I don't understand! Okay.
That a weapon I see.
As far as I can
Sheesh!
tell, these things don't distinguish between friend and foe.
Save the planet by
Wait, isn't this the dude? Dude, I don't know the names of, I don't know the names of the weapons, I'm sorry. But, like, isn't this the same weapon that appeared in Rebirth that, Tifa goes in? So she now has, like, this connection to the live stream, for sure?
save
right?
the planet by killing her protectors.
It's the same, right? We like our main outfits here. I am right, fellas. Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns also had an outfit job system, but no one played it. Pretty much. Pretty much. I only played Final Fantasy 13, the first one. And from what I understand, it's considered the worst one by the fan base. I think I can say that, right? I think it's the one that it's the worstly rated. But like, dude, I tried to play Diana somewhat recently, a few months ago. I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't finish it. It's that bad. I'm sorry. I don't know if people like Final Fantasy 13 now. But man, dude, it's like they have a great combat system. They do. But it's just so flawless. It's just so bad the way they execute it. It's actually so sad. But yeah.
Let us put your faith.
They've made an upgrade to the characters, that's for sure. Because there's so much they can take off from Unreal Engine 4, man. That's one thing that I've noticed, actually, from Unreal Engine 4. Vegetation-wise, there's a shit ton of problems in terms of shadows, which is normal. But yeah, you know, Unreal Engine 5 does make a massive upgrade for lighting. Even for character lighting and a lot of these like contact shadows and everything. It's big, especially for foliage.
To the test.
But the characters are looking pretty fucking nice, man. This is the shot that still confuses the hell out of me.
Cloud.
I haven't really had the time to like look into the game itself, or just theorize about the game, I mean. This shot confuses the hell out of me because this guy is holding the holy materia. So this is a like not a flashback, but like I mean it is a flashback, right? Isn't this a flashback of sorts? Because this is one of those times where Cloud is having like a mental break or whatever, and he's the one visualizing this image, right? Of Sephiroth holding holy materia. But this makes me think that Sephiroth recognizes what the holy materia is and what it is for, right? He knows what the objective of this is. So he's aware, right? So what does this change to the overall story, right? Because the holy materia has a big role at the end of the game, at the end of the OG game. Will they have the same role? At least we do know that we do know that the holy materia will be in the place where it needs to be, right? It kind of works kind of like a behemoth in Berserk, you know what I mean? It will be at the hands or at the place where it needs to be at the end, you know what I mean? Regardless of what happens. There's only one Final Fantasy X in my mind, basically. That is true. That is the OG Final Fantasy X. You can say Final Fantasy XIII was the original remake of Final Fantasy VII. In a way, yeah. Main character for sure has a lot of traces, yeah. It's one of Cloud's organisms... orgasmic flashbacks. Okay. But we've never seen this in the OG, right? We've never seen this image of Sephiroth holding holy. If I remember correctly, the OG game. Maybe a prophecy like seeing in the future. The scene is after he kills Aerith. But he doesn't hold holy, right? I don't know, man. I don't think at the end of the game, there's not going to be any difference, hopefully. I think everything is just going to be the same as the original game. But he did? Really? Bro, this is why I'm replaying the game, man. Wait. Spoilers for Final Fantasy VII, by the way, folks, if you haven't played the game. Cinematics? Let me see. When does this happen? It's almost at the end, right?
Think I would. Then let's go.
Yeah, okay, we reach the Temple of the Ancients. Kitset does his thing. Wait, what?
It's on you.
Wait, when does this happen? I forgot. Oh, here, there we go. Wait a minute. Ski bop.
Aerith!
Edisu.
Don't weep. Your tears are empty.
Your tears are empty.
Just like
I mean, that part is true. Kinda. Yo, when does he hold holy though? What?
Cloud.
What you mean,
okay.
brother? What the fuck does he hold holy, man? Imagine having to rewrite the best scene in gaming history because you can't accept how it originally went. No, I don't think that's what's happening here. I think what's happening is that they want to keep a sort of mystery, so you buy all of the 3 games. And so they rewrote this in order to keep a sort of mystery somewhat different. Oh, in the original game. Oh, he does? What? OG FF7, Sephiroth. How do I search for this, though? Fucking... When does that happen? Holding holy? I don't know. That's not gonna appear. Will it? Will it? In this scene? No, right? Actually, stupid question. Like, isn't Sephiroth, like, not real? Like, who... Wait. Isn't Sephiroth, like, dead the entire game? How does Sephiroth kill Aerith if he's not alive? Am I stupid? He is, but isn't. Then how does he kill Aerith if he's not alive? Because... I had a realization, dude. What? Virtual form? But it takes like a physical form, is that it? Is energy is so strong that it can take a physical form? Is that it? That probably does not have the same sort of power, but as a spiritual form, but okay, I guess. All right. Fine, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know where that scene is, but yeah, it is what it is. Sephiroth is at the northern crater. Yes, he's at the northern crater the entire time. Yes.
Never would have made it this far without you guys.
I saw some people getting a little bit weirded out that he says this, Cloud.
And I won't let you down.
But it makes sense, right? Because this is what he says in the original game. After a couple of things happen.
I promise.
After a couple of things happen, that's
At
for sure.
last, the promise is fulfilled. The journey ends here.
Yes, sir. I don't believe that these guys are going to make a game where it has all of three of them. It would be cool, but I just think they're going to do like packages where you can buy all of the three games combined, and that's basically it. I don't really see in the future. Maybe I'm wrong, man. Maybe they do that. I'll be surprised positively if they do it. But man, dude, making a game where all of the three games, all of the content of the three games is combined into one package, that would be crazy cool, but feels a little bit rough, you know what I mean? We'll see. I did see this interview. I mean, there's way too many interviews that this guy's made. I'm not gonna watch. I'm not gonna like see all of them. There's no way. Okay, but I think this one was pretty interesting. Was it this one? Wants to create a grand scale RPG that could resonate to gamers across the world. Wait, I don't think it was this one. Let me see. Let me just read this a little bit, because there was a couple of things that I saw from a bunch of interviews that were pretty fucking interesting. Fans might have a lot of different expectations, but for me personally, I do want to take this new challenge with another RPG title after this, whether it be Final Fantasy or a different IP. They don't know what they'll actually work on next, but they hope for fans to look forward to it. But if it is set in the Final Fantasy multiverse, that's great. But the director would also like to create something completely new. If it's not Final Fantasy, that's also exciting, because that could be a challenge for me. Okay, that's interesting. It feels like Hamaguchi does not want to do more Final Fantasy stuff. He wants to move on and do something else. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting right now from him. His desire is to do something that is not Final Fantasy. That's interesting. Like the Master Chief Collection. Yeah, kind of like the Master Chief Collection, I feel like, yeah. They definitely know what their work on next. Wait, what is it? What is it, Diana? What? Wait, what do you think they're working on, Diana? Please don't say Final Fantasy X-3. Please, anything but that. Oh my god, I can't imagine. Why do you want that? Why do these guys have implemented the seed of Final Fantasy X-3 is beyond my comprehension. It does not make any sense. Oh, dude, I need to do a stream where I just go about this, man. I just yap for like 2 hours about how it doesn't make any fucking sense, man. Oh my god, dude. Just make the Final Fantasy X remake. Final Fantasy 13 remake? Really? I don't know about that one. Really? Is there like a poll of like, is there like poll of people saying which Final Fantasy remake next? I don't know, something like that. Is there like something like that? I don't know. I feel like if there's a remake that makes more sense to me is Final Fantasy that would bring sales, because that's important, because I don't think Final Fantasy VIII... Final Fantasy VIII is definitely the one that needs a remake, right? Because the story, there's beats of the story that don't make much sense, in my view. But Final Fantasy 9 or 15 would be the candidates for sure, right? Because Final Fantasy 15 has a huge following, surprisingly. Maybe 13 also has, I don't know, actually. 9 is just... 9 would be amazing, man. I feel like 9 just has that reputation of being an amazing game. So it would just make sense. Or 6, to be fair. I do one for... Is there like a poll or anything that they've made? Or something like that? Nah. What is this? We asked Final Fantasy Revelation. What's next for him? Okay. There's a deep respect among each other between the three of us, and I really feel like during our days-to-days job, it's really nice to feel that because both Nomura and Kitase are the producer and the creative director of the overall Final Fantasy VII franchise, and not just the remake series, so they give much bigger role than I do, where I'm just in charge of the remake series in general. Nomura and Kitase both put their full trust in me in terms of putting the remake series in my hands, and that's really nice to see. But at the same time, unlike Nomura and Kitase, I wasn't involved in the development of the original Final Fantasy VII, so now I feel like I'm stuck in the creative process in terms of determining this particular moment or scene and what kind of weight it holds, what kind of meaning it has for the original. Then it's really nice to have the two right by my side. I can just go to them and get their input if I'm ever doubting myself on anything. That's cool. That's pretty cool. I mean, working with Nomura Kitase is definitely a fucking plus. I'm joking, but whatever their next project is definitely in consideration, or the concept phase. I mean, dude, I wouldn't even put... I don't think it's that far-fetched, to be dead honest. Because, like, it's the only Final Fantasy out of the entire Final Fantasy games that has 3, not 2, but 3, like, games, you know what I mean? It's crazy. Like, so why not, you know? I don't know. I would put it on like top 5 on the list, but I wouldn't say... I would say Final Fantasy X is probably the one that's most obvious in terms of like sales, you know, because that's what they're fucking looking for. So a Final Fantasy X remake or 10-3 is the obvious choice for them. It's like, you guys want money? Go for 10, right? After 7, because it just has a massive following also, right? So it's pretty fucking obvious. Also 9 and 15, but remaking 15 is like, it's too soon. I don't know, but yeah. Right in this moment, I'm fully focused on completing Final Fantasy VII Revelation and ensuring we're delivering Final Fantasy VII Remake series in a perfect state. So that's where I'm right now. At the same time, I do see a lot of fans and community asking me to take on the helm for Final Fantasy VI Remake. Okay. PR later clarified Hamaguchi was talking in hypothetical terms. Were you? So I'm getting a lot of that floating online, but you know, a Final Fantasy VI remake or any other remake, it could be me or it could be someone else. Personally, I think that it might be better hands if it went to another creator in Square Enix. That's cool. Okay. Final Fantasy VI remake. Bro, you can't say something like this and then just expect for people to not like jump right into the bandwagon. Then come on, man. You can't. Final Fantasy VII 9 remake rumor was probably real, but I suspect it got canceled at this point. PR panicked when he heard Final Fantasy VI remake. Yeah, no fucking wonder. Like, you can't just say something like that and not expect people to go like, oh, you know, you cannot, dude. I honestly, Diane, I feel like the 9 remake was definitely a thing. There is more than proof of that, right? But it was probably like on the hands of another company, most likely. But because of the, oh my god, damn, he's not using the Moguri mod, huh? Damn. But because of the whole thing of the restructuring that Square Enix was making back in what, 2024 or something. It's almost 3 years by now when they started that. That was part of the restructuring. So they wanted to take off the helm of a lot of stuff that was being made outsourced to within the company. And I think Final Fantasy IX Remake was definitely one of those things. I think they already had plans to release at least a trailer in the 20th or 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy IX, for sure, or the 30th or whatever it was. It feels that way, man. They had everything prepared. Do we not remember what they released on the 25th anniversary? Concept art, a bunch of shit in terms of like merchandising. It was crazy, man. Like not even Final Fantasy X had that. Like Final Fantasy X recently had also like not, oh my god, not 2.5. Get me the hell out of here. Recently had like a bunch of different things for its 25th anniversary. Oh, this is in Portuguese, god damn it. Let me see. 25th anniversary. There is one t-shirt that they showed that I'm like, oh my god, I need it. Dude, I'll do it myself, dude. I don't need to pay like fucking $100 or some shit for, because they're probably asking way too much money for what it is. Honestly. Merch. I'll do it myself, dude. It's not that hard for what it is. I'll show you. Is it this one? I'm trying to find that fucking merchandise, dude. Give it to me! Dude, where is it? Yeah, they had a bunch of these dudes. Wait, what is this? What the fuck is this? This is the, when she got married to Seymour. And then she flew away, man. In her little birdie, Valivor. Okay. Wait, where is the other stuff, man? That was just released. Actually, 25th anniversary news. Website launched. What website? Special website? This one. I'm a sucker for this game. Wait. Where is it? Where is it? Oh my god, they got bags? Holy man, they want to squeeze the shit out of us, dude. It's insane. Ah! Wait. Where is that fucking t-shirt, man? It literally only has, it's like a super simple t-shirt. It's like a black t-shirt with the logo of Titus and his father jacked, and that's basically it. But where is this shit, man? Bro, they're even hiding from me at this point. Wait, what is this? Oh, that is sick. Wait, is it this? It's the, oh, fuck. Nah, this is dog shit. This is garbage. Okay, this bad. No, this is bad. This is not how you design shit. What is this, man? This is decent. This is decent, okay? This is I hate when people do this, man. They just grab a fucking screenshot and they just fucking boopity doop done. It's like, no. This is nice. Now that's a nice little hat. That's an, oh. My capitalists, my ruthless capitalism is tingling right now. Wait, where's that t-shirt? Bro, there was a t-shirt with this logo. This logo right here. Fuck, man. Oh no. Whatever, dude. Can't find it. It is what it is. But yeah. Where was I? Final Fantasy 9? Sorry, I had a simple misunderstanding of what material Sephiroth was holding because I thought it looked like the black materia he held. No, the black materia, yeah, he held multiple times because that was ultimately his objective, was to get the black materia. That's why that was his whole objective, honestly, was to get the black materia, and he needed Cloud for that, right? He needed Cloud to go to where he was in the Northern Crater to bring him the black materia. That was the whole point, right? Sure, that makes sense. But the white materia, I don't remember, at least. Yeah. Because they both look green in the scenes of Final Fantasy 7, but the difference is one of you hold them. Tita's plushie? But yeah. Where was I? When I look at all the titles that we have released at Square Enix, not just Final Fantasy 7 Remake, I think Square Enix as a brand, as a company, is more than capable of delivering this grand-scale RPG that could resonate to gamers across the world. Fans might have a lot of different expectations, but for me personally, I do want to take this new challenge with another RPG title after this. Ooh. Whether it be Final Fantasy or of different IP, again, we don't know. But personally, if it's not Final Fantasy, that's also exciting because that could be a challenge for me. Okay, maybe he actually wants to stay in Final Fantasy, but it feels like there's like a power struggle here or some shit. Maybe because of the sales of Final Fantasy VII Remake overall, maybe Square Enix is kind of thinking that maybe they need a new director or something. Is that what's happening? I'm kind of confused by some of these statements. Because it feels like he's okay in doing some other work, but at the same time, he kind of wants to stay in Final Fantasy. Or it's kind of ambiguous. Interesting. Because from what I understand, at least so far, the sales for Final Fantasy Remake and Rebirth haven't been like earth-shattering at all, right? They've been decent, but not like crazy good, or at least what probably some of these investors in Square Enix were expecting from Final Fantasy VII, you know what I mean? A massive title, you know? So yeah, that might have scratched some heads, sadly. It is what it is, folks, right? During the same weekend, ended his conversation with Yamaguchi in a similar fashion, to which the director clarified that he is not interested in a remake. It's not going to be a remake. Yamaguchi told you, as a team, I do think there is an opportunity to work on a smaller scale. Ooh, like AA title, or a new Final Fantasy title, or even a new AAA franchise. Are we getting like double? That'd be crazy good. If we could get like AA Final Fantasy, I'm all on board in that, to be honest. The next game scheduled to appear on Yamaguchi's resume is Final Fantasy VII Revelations, which will become the first in the series to launch across all major platforms simultaneously. Damn. Okay. Is there any like interesting 7 Revelations? Any cool news about this? Why it's called Final Fantasy Revelation instead of Resolve? Or yeah, that was surprising because everybody thought that this game was going to be called either Return. Everybody was betting on Return, right? I never heard Resolve. Most people were focused on Return. Return would make sense, right? Return to Midgar. Return to nature, I guess, you know. So it would just make sense in a lot of beats of the story. But yeah, the return of Cloud's stuff, memory and stuff like that. But Revelation does make sense also, because they do have something in the story that is going to be a massive revelation for all of us. Because right now, the story, there's a lot of things that just don't make sense on purpose, in my view, in Rebirth. And it feels like they need to reveal something grand in order to explain what the fuck's going on, especially in the ending. So yeah. I mean, I honestly, it's kind of like what I said. I feel like Sephiroth is, I don't know, I haven't seen that many like theory crafting on this game. There's probably a ton, to be fair, but I haven't seen a whole lot. I've seen Maximilian talk about this game and the theories about Rebirth and shit like that, even though I don't remember that much. But I think this shot clearly is indicating to us that at least Sephiroth is aware that the holy material might be the answer that will stop him for sure. You know, where's that shot? I always forget. This shot right here, right? This shot is massive. I feel like, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm dead wrong. But I feel like this shot is massive. This shot is revealing that Sephiroth understands the importance of holy, and that it will probably do something to holy, maybe even destroy it. Right during a cutscene, early on even, and that will kind of probably give a sort of sense of desperation to the player, right? And the squad, right? Because they know the importance of holy, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, but so maybe we are going to like that's probably where Zack is coming in again, because Zack is returning to the Revelation for sure. What it feels to me is that the objective of Zack is to give a new holy materia from his timeline to this timeline, right? It feels to me that's the objective. They should have released Rebirth in that summer if 24 in July. Is there no games to compete it with? Do you like that it's not a one-to-one recreation and there's still mysteries to unravel? Of course, yeah, obviously, but I think it's exciting for both new and old fans. But I also feel like new fans, if the old fans are confused, right, or people that have played Final Fantasy VII are confused, I can't even imagine guys that don't know shit about what the fuck's going on. Like, you know what I mean? It's even more confusing. You know, that's the problem. I'm not aware of it. I mean, it would be cool to talk to people that don't know anything about Final Fantasy VII, that only play the remake and Rebirth, just to see what they think. Because they're probably super fucking confused. That's my guess. I don't know. Because talking in this position is different, right? I don't know. There's probably I know that there's like a theory. I remember that. Of like, there's a bunch of posters that have a dog or whatever, a pug. And that pug is like, is showcased multiple times in different areas and shit, and they're all different, and the logic is that, and it seems like and I am noticing them in Rebirth, and it's like, it feels like they really want in the cinematics for you to like look at it, you know what I mean? It really feels that way cinematic wise, like they're really trying to like look at this, you know what I mean? It's kind of a weird one. So I feel like there is definitely some relevancy to that theory, that because the posters are like all different or some shit. Is there like a Reddit post or some shit about that? Final Fantasy VII remake theory poster, pugs. They're pugs, right? Yeah, this shit. Yeah, like the what is the theory again? So the theory is like, there's a bunch of different posters in different timelines, and the idea is that the scenes that you're watching are from different timelines. And if you're watching, for example, a scene with this dog, it's like timeline 1, and this one is like timeline 2. I feel like there is some sort of relevancy to that, whatever that means, right? The remake timeline is worse as they're doing this Marvel. Yeah, I don't like it also, Felix. I've said this multiple times. I've never, since I can remember in my life, I've never enjoyed timeline shenanigans, because it gets complicated, it gets messy, it's like it's like fuck the rules sort of deal, and I've never enjoyed it, to be dead honest. But who knows, maybe they'll pull it off. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, to be real. I do feel like the objective was to bring Zack back. Yeah, Zack's timeline is the pug. Okay. Oh, I see. But how many timelines are there? I don't like this, man. I really don't. I don't, man. I really hope that it's just not too confusing, man. I really do. They need to pull this shit off really well. Dude. Okay, wait. What is this? Final Fantasy VII Worlds infograph. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. Beagle World? Oh no. New worlds are also connected to the live stream. Due to this connection, it is possible to travel between them. Oh my god. Wait. Let me bring this to pure ref. Because it's kind of weird to like escalator. It's easier to control the image here in pure ref because you can just scroll it. Initially, there was one unified world, and one destiny, guarded by the Whispers, which is Final Fantasy VII, the original Final Fantasy VII, right? I've learned so much that I learned so much more than I wanted to about Final Fantasy. Is that a remake? I'm out. Kidding. Stream, everyone. See you, dude. Have a good one, best friends. Zack's timeline is a pug, like 3 or 4 with Crisis Core reunion. Wait, like OG Final Fantasy VII is easier to understand. I think OG Final Fantasy VII is definitely easy to understand. There are some bits of the story that are kind of weird on how they are presented, though, in my view. And I like the ambiguity that the original Final Fantasy VII gives to you. It leaves room for you to think about it and bring your own vision of what you're seeing in the game, which I always enjoyed. I always enjoy when games do that, especially the ending. the ending feels ambiguous in a good way, right? But yeah. When the boundaries of fate were breached, the world shattered into numerous fragments. New worlds were... Oh my god. Some perished quickly, while others endured. Okay. These fragments are deficient, as they have limited macro reserves and constrained space within them. Bro, this is some Kingdom Hearts. This is some Kingdom Hearts storyline. Derriere world. Okay, so this is in the beginning of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, when we're presented with a shocking scene of Zack and Cloud returning to Midgar safe and sound. It's like, what? What the fuck? So this is Zack's world. Okay. Spit's world? Wait, which one is this? New Worlds? Wait, which one is this? I don't remember. Wait, which one is this? Beagle World? Is this our world? Is that it? So Beagle is ours. Yeah, there was one with like this dude. Oh my god, dude, that's insane. Nah, man. Chiba World? A tiny world containing only the Sector 5 church. Zack battles a form of Sephiroth here. Bro, isn't in this section that Zack even goes like, what the fuck is going on here? It's like, it's fucking Crisis Core all over again. The main world is still full of Mako and stable, but every time the boundaries of fate are breached, it becomes more shattered. Yeah, that's why even Cloud is seeing, I guess, this thing in the sky, because the world is shattered into different realities. But nobody else sees it, though. Why does nobody else sees it? Why can he see it but not the other people? Because if it's something related to the live stream or whatever, Tifa would see it, because Tifa has submerged herself into the live stream also, right? But she can't see it. My fragmented mother, these errant worlds, all shall be one again. Yeah. Sephiroth desired a fractured world. His objective is to reassemble its fragments, molding the new world according to his will. Therefore, our party opposes not only black, but also white whispers. Defying fate, we help Sephiroth. Right, so basically, there are multiple realities or timelines instead of just the one of OG Final Fantasy VII. And effectively what we want to do, or Sephiroth wants to do, is bring them all together and to be the ruler of every single timeline in reality, right? That's the major difference of the sequel. Okay, sure, that's fine. I just don't like when they do this, man, because it gets so confusing, and it already is very confusing in Rebirth to understand what the fuck's going on. But yeah, Sephiroth Reborn, a resurrected being who now wields unimaginable might and commands the arbiters of fate. He seeks to pierce through the layers of existence and reunite fragments space-time. Damn it, man. This is going to be confusing as shit, man. They really need to pull this one off, huh? Damn. Okay. I mean, if this is... this feels kind of right. But I'll let you guys know, because I'm replaying Rebirth slowly, very slowly. I'm still in the grasslands, bro. I've been in the grasslands for like couple of days now. So I only play like 30 minutes, 45 minutes a day, so it's kind of like I don't really have a lot of time. I mean, I could have played it right now, but you know, I also kind of want to stream and shit. Okay, wait, what does he say here? Building on the original post. How old is this? 3 years ago. Wait, so this was before the release of Rebirth. And they were already like thinking about this. Okay. So, let me see, new. There is a variable feasible counter theory, and notice that the crisps are called stem. Jesus, man. These guys go deep. They got Tetsuya, the worst story writer ever, to fix this timeline? Yeah, I mean, this right now feels very Nomura-ish. I'm not gonna lie, man. This feels very Nomura-ish, if you ask me. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure, man.
Good night.
The skies.
Do we have anything else when it comes to like gameplay and shit like that? Do we have anything else? Gameplay overview? Is this them just looking at the gameplay? No, we did have more stuff, right? Pretty sure.
Companions each confront their own destinies and find the resolve to march toward the final battle.
そして私自
Was it
It's a
this one?
reminder of your mission and the grave threats you'll confront as you embark upon your journey and face the epic conclusion of the remake series. Aboard the Highwind, your very own airship and the pride of the Shinra fleet, you'll take to the skies and witness our most expansive front as you embark upon your journey.
I am really curious to see the story of this guy, actually. Because Vincent's story is actually a super interesting story. If I remember correctly, Professor Hojo is effectively the real father of Sephiroth, right? He's the one that basically and I think her name is Claudia. What is the girlfriend of Vincent? Vincent Valentine's girlfriend. Who's the mother of Sephiroth? The real mother of Sephiroth? Lucretia Crescent? She's the real mother of Sephiroth, right? And she was the girlfriend of Vincent, but Professor Hojo had other plans, and yeah, she made some stuff with Lucretia, and Sephiroth was born? Something like that, right? That's what I got from the side story. Yeah, Lucretia was appointed to work on the Genova project along with Gast, Faramis, and Professor Hojo. Vincent Valentine, a member of the Department of the Administrative Research, was assigned to protect the scientists as the bodyguards. Lucretia recognized Vincent as the son of her former mentor Grimoire. To her surprise, Shinra had assigned him as her bodyguard. The two spent time together outside of their duties and grew close, though Lucretia concealed her prior connection to Vincent's father. Yeah, because I remember, yeah, they had like a love relationship, but then Professor Hojo came to ruin the day. Kind of like something along the lines of Sweeney Todd, you know what I mean? Vincent attempted to console Lucretia, overwhelmed by guilt, distanced herself from him, and chose to continue her work with Professor Hojo. Wait, when Vincent discovered documentation detailing Lucretia's past work with Grimoire, he confronted her. She revealed her role in the incident that led to Grimoire's death. Oh. I see, okay. Vincent accepted her decision, prioritizing her happiness, but the distance between them remained. Lucretia later became pregnant with the child who would become Sephiroth, who was taken away without Lucretia even being allowed to hold him. And the father is Professor Hojo, right? It's not Vincent. While dealing with the emotional turmoil surrounding the estrangement from her infant son and the loss of Vincent, Lucretia was overcome with self-loathing and sorrow. Yeah, due to the Genova cells in her body, Lucretia was unable to die and then ended up in the crystal cave where she and Grimoire had discovered chaos. Chaos. Interesting. I see. So Sephiroth basically just has Genova cells, but he's just another clone, I guess. But it's the perfected clone, so to speak.
And face the epic conclusion of the remake series. Aboard the Highwind, your very own airship and the pride of the Shinra fleet, you'll take to the skies and witness our most expansive open world yet. From the outskirts of Midgard to the sun-drenched Medial Archipelago, to the
Medial Archipelago?
warrior nation of Wutai.
Damn, dude, can I? Okay. I do want to point this out. Okay. I want to point this out, all right? I don't want to be meanie about this because I know this is Unreal Engine 4 and shit like that. But this lighting right now in the rocks, it could be a little bit better, man. I mean, they probably chose this angle, to be fair, for the directional light because it's just better when you're maneuvering in the map itself. and this is kind of like whatever. But it's it's just because a lot of the times what we do is we put the lighting on the back, you know what I mean? Just so we can cover a lot of the problems that we can see over here, you know what I mean? But yeah, whatever, man, whatever. It's kind of whatever.
Wutai. Simply pick a direction and set sail. But how can you be expected to protect the whole
I think my
world?
point is more like sometimes you probably need to do that in order for the game on the ground, which is the most important part, visually, lighting wise, to be good. So it's kind of like whatever.
You'll need to cover ground fast.
I am not jumping. No way, no how.
Don't worry. These parachutes are top of the line. Pull the cord and pop. You'll be floating through the air like a feather.
At any moment in the open world, simply pilot the high wind to your destination.
This must have been a bitch, dude.
Take a leap of faith.
There's no way.
With the wind rushing past, you'll descend seamlessly.
This must have... I mean, probably what they do is they're on the high wind, and when they want to drop in a specific location, right? There's probably like that cutscene that we see, and that's the loading screen, right? That is the loading screen. And then you just drop in that specific location and the game runs, right? So there's a hidden loading screen in the middle. So that would make sense to me.
From the sky above to the ground below. Where will the winds guide you first? That freedom is in your hands. But no matter your destination, to defeat your enemy, you'll need a fighting chance. And that starts with your trusted allies. At long last, with the world teetering on a blade's edge.
Cloud also has Nova Cells after what happened in Nibelheim. Yes, him and many other characters in this game, right? I think the jumping is not needed as a high wind was able to park on the ground itself.
Everyone is...
I mean, yeah, but the reality is these games are very different, right? Like, we're just talking about two completely different games and two completely different game engines. So
cloud side.
Doing that in this engine, in this, there's no way.
Forming an epic ensemble of heroes, each with their own story that brings you closer together than ever. But a good unit needs more than friendship to save the day.
I mean, there is a way, but it would be the Expedition 33 way, which is to have like an overworld, and that's not what we have here. We kind of have like a mix. It's kind of a weird mix.
And combat regiment, the hybrid battle system,
Ooh.
established in Remake and refined in Rebirth, is perfected in Revelation, putting even more power in your hands. In fluid, real-time action.
So we have mostly the same sort of stuff that we've seen from Rebirth. The big difference is the job system, right?
Seamlessly switch between party members to even the odds. Then, when the fight calls for strategy, enter tactical mode to unleash a suite of powerful new spells and abilities.
Focus, okay, that's pretty much...
Activate devastating synergies with your companions. And of course, call on mighty summoned entities that can turn the tide of battle.
Okay. Yeah, the main difference is definitely the job system that they've implemented now. Okay. Vincent Valentine.
I won't return to my coffin.
Hello, Angels.
Until we
Damn,
put
dude.
Sephiroth
What's up, Amplifier? How you doing, brother? How you been, brother?
Vincent is a deft gunslinger, capable of delivering
Vincente
precise,
Valentino.
high-yield shots. But
Bro, what is this freaking minigame, man? My man?
Vincent.
One thing that I hope that we have from the get-go in this game is, because I don't like the fact that in Rebirth, you have to, at least in the first playthrough, you have to be Cloud. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be Cloud when you're just exploring. I just kind of want to be other characters. Feels that way, because we saw those shots of Yuffie running around.
Gunslinger. Capable
and
of
even here we have Vincent playing, so
delivering
that's probably what's happening here, which is cool.
Precise, high-yield shots. But there's more to this secretive former Turk than meets the eye. The result of experimentation.
Wait, he was a former Turk, yeah.
At the hands of Shinra, Vincent can transform into the Galleon beast at the press of a button, gaining tremendous power while transformed. And when combined with the skills of a certain ace pilot, their high-impact synergies disrupt the fight with ferocious results.
The Leaping Lancer, the Dashing Dragoon, the one and only Sid Highway.
Dude, the voice acting in this guy is fucking peak also.
Sid Highwood,
Motherfucker came directly from Texas to do this.
Tankerous pilot extraordinaire.
He's just missing
joins
his
the party
cigar,
and
man.
their mission to defeat Sephiroth. Sid's command of his lance allows him to rapidly close the distance for powerful strikes, or engage in sweeping area of effect.
I haven't really
attacks to bring a
played that
whole host
much or
of enemies
anything, to be
heel.
honest, with
But
Sid.
to fully control the battlefield,
This, what is this? What is this right now? What is this fashion? Final Fantasy? Oh, yo, Square Enix? You need to bring some more. What is this? Nah, we need some good fashion. What is this shit, man?
skill with a weapon only gets you so
Now
far.
that is even worse.
To further augment your combat capabilities,
Who's Sid voice
try
actor? I have
this
no
out for
clue.
Saturn.
Wait, so this is the interesting bit. We know that the level cap of this game is 99, actually, just like the OG.
For Saturn.
Freelancer? Damn, dude.
Function integrated tactical suitwear. Or
I don't
the
know, I
FIT
dig this
system
whole
for
thing of,
short, allows you to further
I think it would be cool, though, because, like, I'm
customize your
worried that, because even if I want to be, this is the outfit from, what do you call it? Advent Children, or at least similar. It would be cool to, like, even if I want to be a black mage, but maybe I want the suit from the freelance, you know what I mean? It would be cool to, like, have that option. Hopefully they do that, you know?
playstyle with new uniforms imbued with unique movesets. Alongside your equipment and materia, Fits gives you an extra.
Because I kind of dig what Expedition 33 does, which is like, it's just a cosmetic thing, and it's still super engaging to find new cosmetics and actually like do mini games for those cosmetics. I still find them super. I liked that aspect of Expedition
To
33.
face what's coming, you'll need all the strength you can muster. Sensing its fate hanging in the balance, the planet itself has unleashed its last line of defense. The weapons, ancient beasts that are larger than life and capable of untold destruction.
Untold destruction
Will you
indeed,
be
man.
enough to stop them
We got
before
some
it's too
bullshit ass
late?
mini games
As the
that
world
resemble
is torn
Monster Hunter, I
apart,
see.
You and your friends must unite. In Revelation,
We got some Sekiro action with Yuffie. I'm all about it, dude.
we come to the thrilling conclusion of the Final Fantasy VII saga. And your mission is clear. Take up your Buster Sword, equip your materia, and stand together.
Genova?
Last.
Wait, what is that?
These skies belong to me!
The sky belong to me, dude. Wait, who the fuck is that?
Hope you're ready!
Is that just a... Vincent Valentine. Reporting for booty. City's extremely OP in OG FF7, paired with Clouds and Visitor UV. Probably. I believe you. Okay, so this is the bit of the cinematic when Weapon attacks Juno, right? Nothing crazy going on here, from what I understand. I do still feel like I need to recheck that, actually. I didn't recheck it. That's actually so fucking sick, though. But yeah, there's nothing crazy. We've seen this. There's nothing crazy about this scene at all. But yeah. That's pretty much it, folks, in terms of my stream, bro. I'm done. I don't know where to go from here. All right. I wanted to do still Berserk stuff, but unfortunately, I have to go. It's 9 p.m. It's pretty late already, and I have some other stuff to do, sadly. But yeah, I kind of wanted to have like a problem. I'm probably going to do that on a separate stream, though. I'm just going to dedicate like 2 or 3 hours where I just talk about Berserk and search for some stuff. And some of the old chapters and shit. Because Berserk, the latest Berserk chapter has been pretty controversial overall. It still is. It definitely raised a lot of questions to me. That's for sure. But yeah, I'll have to leave it for another stream. My bad if someone was waiting for that part. But yeah, it is what it is. Sorry, folks. But I am interested in just kind of looking at a lot of the stuff from old Berserk chapters. And I have one bit. Move away right now if you haven't read Berserk. And if you want to just check this out. I can show you one little bit that interested me. In particular. Which was this one. Where is it? Oh, it's not here. Wait, chapter 201. in chapter 201, this is the point where you are in that, what is the place called in Fantasia? I forgot, man. Fuck me, man. Where Flora is and all of the other people and shit, the fairies. Doesn't matter. There is a point where when Guts meets Flora for the first time, this chapter is super interesting, taking into account everything that happens in the latest chapter of Berserk. And she says the following, okay? You know about us. But Guts goes, you know about us, right? And she says, yes. They of the brand, guided by tiny wings. I have waited you. And Guts goes, she knows about the brand? Could she be an apostle? And then Flora says this, no, but this feeling, it aches faintly, but something's different. Oh wait, this is... Huh. Wait, who's saying this? Who's saying this right now? Is it Flora? Or is it Guts? Now I'm confused now that I'm rereading this. Because I for sure thought that Flora was the one saying this and this, right? About the brand. But now I'm thinking otherwise. It's actually Guts saying it. Because she's feeling that something is off about this character. And the brand is faintly aching. It's still weird though. It's still weird to be fair. They of the brand. I don't know, man. There's definitely some controversy regarding chapter 384 for a reason. A lot of people feel like Guts is special now somehow. I still don't feel like that's what they're going for. I feel like whatever's going to happen next, that we really need to see the next two chapters. We really do. We're gonna get that in the next 2 weeks, 1 week or two. So it's going to be very interesting to see what this actually means for Guts, knowing what he knows now. Because the revelation is basically that he's always been in the interstice, right? So he hasn't been in the interstice since the eclipse, right? Like we thought he did, but he's always been in the interstice since the beginning, when he was born. That's the big revelation, I guess. What the fuck does this mean? I don't know. I have no clue. Dude, I remember doing a video about my theory regarding Berserk, and it stands in the sense that Guts needs to find himself, and he needs to remove ego out of his, remove ego, generally speaking, right? And I still think that is going to be ultimately his objective, and it feels like it's going in that direction. I just don't understand this whole thing with... What does this imply that he was, since the beginning, in the interstice? I don't see the relevancy of it so far, but maybe there is. I have no clue. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'll leave this for another stream, potentially. We can just go back, read some of the old chapters, just to see if we find something interesting. And yeah, folks, it is what it is. 2 hours and 20 minutes of streams, and we're done. Could be applied both ways, Far, Far Away Land? Isn't that from Shrek? Alright, folks, thank you for coming by if you're still there. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Over and out. The scene where Tifa is handcuffed is when she was going to be gassed to death in Junon. Yeah. True. That minigame is weird. Appreciate it, Alato. Sí, vámonos. ¡Vámonos! ¡Vámonos!